Once again, the United States has declared its intentions to interfere in the affairs of North Korea. North Korea has recently announced that it will launch a new satellite into space using a rocket that they say has been improved since the last rocket launch was failed. In response to this, the United States has sent warships near the country in order to so-called monitor the launch. The embattled North Korean nation is facing a series of thinly veiled threats from NATO and the US after they declared that the DPRK should not go ahead and conduct another rocket test. The DPRK government, headed by its young leader Kim Jong-un, have announced that they have the right to peaceful exploration of space, as every country does. They also went on to say that they were ready and willing to defend themselves should any provocative acts be taken by the imperialists. U.S. Admiral Samuel Locklear of the U.S. Pacific Command said that the station ships would be monitoring the launch and that he himself would be watching them closely. It should seem logical that we'll move them around so we have the best situational awareness. To the degree that those ships are capable of participating in ballistic missile defenses, then we will position them to be able to do that. If they do violate the Security Council and launch a missile, what kind is it? What is it about? Where does it go? Who does it threaten? Where do parts of it that don't go where they want it to go, where do they go? And what are the consequences of that? The good news is that despite the Admiral, most of the media is actually now referring to the launch correctly as a rocket. Previously, many news organizations have referred to it as a missile, even though it actually isn't. Now, the real reason why the U.S. is sending warships near the DPRK is, in fact, despite what they claim that they're to shoot down a missile should a missile be launched, I feel that they might actually shoot the rocket down. After all, the DPRK does have the right to peaceful space exploration, which they aptly demonstrated in the previous launch, that it was in fact not a missile. And my concern is that they may actually try to shoot down the rocket as though it were a missile, even though it's not. Now, NATO has said that this rocket launch violates the UN resolutions surrounding it. Although I have gone ahead and analyzed those UN resolutions and provided a link to them in the description, and I can say most definitely there is nothing in there that says they cannot pursue an exploration of space or test rockets. It's mainly aimed at the proliferation of nuclear weapons, ballistic missiles, and other missiles. Now, unfortunately, in this situation, even though they have stated themselves to be allies, China and Russia have gone ahead and also advised the DPRK not to go ahead and conduct this test. It's not really clear to me at this time why they should want to do this, although I do feel that their own interests are at stake here, or perhaps they possibly fear an escalation of the tensions that already exist on the Korean Peninsula. Now, the whole point of this in general is to go ahead and portray the DPRK as being a potential problem, like they are a threat to the world, even though they're actually not doing anything threatening at all whatsoever. They are conducting themselves completely within the law with this attempt to launch a rocket into space, just as they did with the last one. All of this is just to heighten tensions in order to justify further oppression upon the North Korean government. Meanwhile, just recently, a U.S. drone murdered a bunch of children in a Middle Eastern country, and the entire world has looked the other way.